Good evening and happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome back to Tuesday Night Lights. It has been far too long since the last time I said that, but it's 2025, new year, new collegiate show matches on the MrBepic channel, and there's no one better to ring in the new year with me than Mr. DJ TJ himself. TJ, my friend, how you doing?
Oh man, we are so back. It's a pleasure to hear Tuesday Night Lights once again. We open up a new year, a new season. There is still plenty on the line going into May, which I'm sure we'll touch on either later in this show or in another show soon. But regardless, this first kind of preseason week before we actually start getting into our seasons should be very interesting to see who's been grinding and who has not been.
And I'm fairly certain the two teams we are about to watch in the first series have definitely not been grinding. I mean, maybe UTK has, but I know Bama hasn't, because Chan messaged me. For those of you wondering, this is the same exact Bama roster you're probably used to if you follow this channel, but they apparently have not played together since the fall semester. So we'll see how the new UTK A team does. And I mean, TJ, this is the UTK B team of old. They all just got promoted after the mass wave of retirees left the A squad. But I mean, they're still fairly solid, this team. Do you know if they've been playing over the break?
From what I've seen, I think after UTK finally made the decision to retire, this team was aware of what was on the table.
Okay.
Especially going into SEL playoffs, and last semester they'd already known they were going to be the next team up. So they have points on the line. This is an SEL opponent that they are probably going to run into, I would imagine, in Tier 1. But regardless, I would imagine, yes, they have been. From what I've seen in the server and from what I see Joe Bro saying in chat, I think this team's going to look completely different than how they looked last semester.
All right, well, I'll pop the rosters up on screen so you can see the official three playing tonight for both sides. UTK in orange, Alabama in red, obviously. I'm just showing off my new graphics right now. I'm very proud of how these turned out. But Kung, Agonize, and JGZ, the three for UTK, they got promoted. And, hey, Joe Bro says they've been grinding, so I'll take his word for it. Now, they've got big shoes to fill here, TJ. UTK all-time is 10-2 during Night Lights show matches and tournaments, and I know for the most part these three haven't played because UTK White has a whole separate category in my new stat sheet, so they gotta step up tonight to keep that record solid.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, does that include UTK White, or
No.
is that only the A team?
If it was both, they would be 13-2 all time. UTK White's actually undefeated on Night Lights, so hey, they've also got that going for them.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I was like, I don't think either one of these players on the UTK side have attributed to that 10-2 record. So knowing that they're 3-0, that's good to know. And Alabama, we were talking about this a little bit before we hopped in here, but that 3-2 is a little surprising. Should probably be more of a 4-1. And for those of you in the Tuesday Night Lights server, you've seen kind of the huge spreadsheet that obviously Father Bepic has used his skills to make, including these beautiful graphics. So I think they're going to come in a little more locked than the average game last semester. One thing that impressed me a lot about Alabama was they were able to punch up way more often than they were falling down.
That's been a hallmark of this team since they formed. They punch up and down at times. Unfortunately, they play up and down to their opponents' levels, but that's good when you're playing a solid team like UTK. Although, I do have to say, this is knowledge I only have because I've done a lot of these Nightlight shows, but two of those three Alabama wins came on the same show match night. It was against Oklahoma Wesleyan and North Georgia. They just stepped in and 4-0 swept their two opponents there. So outside of that, just 1-2 all time on my Nightlight show matches. So hey, we'll see if they can kick 2025 off on the right foot. But I mean, TJ, overall, stacked nights on Tuesday Night Lights. Have you seen the rest of the schedule? Do you have a series you're particularly looking out for?
That is such a great question. I should have came a little more prepared.
Oh, that's all right. I got it on stream.
No, I got it. Okay. Oh, look at, you know what? Bepic's got me covered at all times. I actually just had the graphic pulled up on my other monitor, so now I got it. I'm very, very interested to see UNCC versus JMU. Unfortunately, I think on that bottom match, you know what? Call me crazy. Give me San Diego State in 5. I think that team of all teams has had a huge chip on their shoulder, and I respect UTA. They haven't been the same in the last few years, though, so I'm going to go with them. I also think that USC loses against whichever team they play, no matter who it is. But in terms of that JMU-UNC series, just to throw out a prediction for the fun of it,
Okay.
give me JMU Because that's the same roster, correct?
No, they've upgraded with Pigeon. Pigeon is
Oh,
alongside Ability and Gadira.
give me JMU. Yeah, love Gad. Just for the Gad pick. Sorry, Bala. Sorry, Knight. Sorry, Lazy. Give me JMU in 5. I think Pigeon is not only an upgrade. That's a pretty drastic change.
Oh, well, actually, just in time for you to lay down that prediction, Lazy has just followed the channel. So I know one person that's not happy to hear that, but I appreciate the predictions. I think that's fair. I think that JMU UNCC set is going to be lights out. I'm excited to watch the upgraded James Madison team play. But hey, that UNCC roster, though, made a couple good runs in tournaments last season. So it's going to be a good second series. And then I had a team drop out for those wondering why the winner of JMU UNCC plays South Carolina. They're filling for me. They're helping me out here. And it's a good opportunity. I mean, South Carolina, kind of the outside looking in of teams in the SCL trying to make land this spring, TJ. And that's a good chance to show what you're made of against a team you're probably fighting against for a land spot.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot that's changing in terms of what we handle with SCL very, very quickly. I know that Cumberland has obviously been a member. I don't think they were able to field the full roster last year. I believe they dropped out. But now they didn't just field a roster. It is a very competitive roster. Yep. A top 32, actually, sorry, top 24 RLCS roster here in North America. And obviously Polar, one of my boys, so I got to support them where I can. But against Burton Parker, that right there should be a matchup we see on TNL soon.
Right, and that means those teams that were on kind of the middle to the bottom side of Tier 1 in the SCL last semester really are going to need to step up with it getting a little bit more top-heavy this season. And I mean, UTA is potentially a team joining the SCL as well. We might be getting some more Texas reps in the league, and I do agree they're underdogs against San Diego State in that last series. But look, those are both Western US or Western CRL Summer Series teams of old, so they're solid. They got experience. It's gonna be a fun night, TJ.
I would love to be proven wrong. That's all I'm going to say. Every time I make a prediction, I would love to see a full series. I know that you've got an incredible group of guys coming in to fill in those other games, and I'm here just for the big welcome back game. But either way, I really do think that of all the series, knowing that Alabama hasn't played, knowing that UTK has been playing, I hope that of all the series tonight, I hope we get at least 6 in this one.
I think this has the potential to be really close, but because it is the first show, I've got no idea how in form these guys are going to come in. But hey, shout out Kung, though, for stepping up in CRL Open 1 with Shaka and Taibu and making a pretty deep run there for playing on a roster that had Kung, who had never played at like that pace of Rocket League really before, and then a roster that had never played together. So hey, shout out him for a solid CRL Open 1 performance.
Yeah, I'll always vouch for Zach. I mean, he has been grinding under Caden and Joe for years now. He has been constantly trying to learn, trying to improve. That is somebody that I got a lot of respect for. And him now taking on a captain role with someone like Jaden and obviously Jacob, it's just a fun team overall. And I know not everybody knows the players' names, but I think that level of personality within the Southeast also carries into Tennessee's program as a whole. This team is just simply not your average kind of academy-style roster. They have been going to the lands. They have been the quote-unquote coaches at said lands. So even if they haven't been doing a lot of direct coaching, they've been picking up a lot, and I think they're going to put it down right here in Game 1.
All right, well, looks like the players are ready to take the field, so let's get back into Tuesday Night Lights. It's been just about 3 months since the last time we got to watch some good old-fashioned collegiate show matches, and it's Tennessee and Alabama, a longtime SEC rivalry, kicking things off in Rocket League. No better way to start 2025.
One of the biggest things that we did not get to touch on, and something that I've hit on the SEL stream so many times, that this Alabama team loves to be aggressive and loves to put the pressure on, but UTK's got some of their own.
All right, immediately into things for UTK. Agonize just takes a simple shot off the sidewall, and a demo on the far side helps the Volunteers start things off. So, hey, they're making a statement here in the early goings.
I was going to counter my point by saying that of all the UTK rosters, I think in terms of that kind of monkey brain play style, I think that when you look at the players in the SEL who do that successfully, Zach has kind of stepped back. He's been more calm, but Jaden and also Jeezer, he changed his name from Jeezy to Jeezer now.
Yep.
But Jeezer and Agonize are both super quick players, very mechanical whenever they decide to be, and we're going to see kind of how things play out off the corner. Chan looking for some sort of opportunity, but so far the Alabama offense kind of slowing down after that original goal.
And makes sense, I think, as we settle into things for both teams. They got to get their feet underneath them. It's been a minute since they've had actual, like, collegiate competition at this level, but Kung is doing a really good job setting up opportunities. Agonize can't finish on it. Bama recovered in time, got to their goal line, but so far, Tennessee, when they do get into the offensive zone, they are going straight for the throats of Alabama. Agonize makes it a second.
Uncharacteristic from Chan as well. A great shot from Agonize, but not as powerful as I think he would have wanted it to be. And Chan just simply actually too early on that one. So maybe over-expecting, maybe overcompensating. And here within almost the first 2 minutes, it's very, very hard leaning towards UTK.
Makes sense. I think we had them as the favorites here. I mean, Joe Bro saying they've been grinding. Alabama coming in a bit rusty. And, I mean, last season as well, I think UTK White at times looked better than this Alabama roster. But a fairly even standing. We'll see what happens once Alabama start shaking off that rust. They've got years of experience playing together to lean on in this series and in this season as well. But at the moment, they are missing far too much to be successful against this UTK team.
UTK almost finding a third goal there, but now we're finally going to start to see some trademark Bama demos. This one will sit up front. This is going to be a counterattack if... We'll see if Jeezer can get there. Will not. Smoff tap those. Tries in there to maybe find Chan, but not a lot of boost on this Bama side. Gray will try and make something happen here, but a lot needs to change as we're halfway through almost.
Still an opportunity. Alabama just playing offense, I think, is a sign of a bit more success than they've seen so far. Can't really establish themselves in the UTK end at the moment. It's not winning challenges, not making great touches on the ball, but slowly getting into it. Tries in there, forces the ball off of Agonize's car and kind of try to get UTK out of defense and has at least bought space for Jay Jeezer, but no can do. The Volunteers keep playing on the backside.
Agonize trying to carry something over the Bama defense, but for now they are standing stout. A lot can happen here in 2 minutes. We've seen this Bama team go through crazy high-scoring matches and also on both sides of crazy comebacks. And how about right here, maybe on the right end this time? That first goal coming in a little late, better late than never.
Just had to work your way into the sets. I mean, it's simple offensive rotations. Keep challenging UTK, keep staying in the play, and find yourself an opening. Alabama have got some momentum now. With 2 minutes left, game one is shaping up here.
Gray looking for Chan, a little bit of miscommunication on that side. We'll see if he can carry anything past Kung, but like I mentioned earlier, Kung is not going to be the aggressive player that he was last semester, and maybe this Bama team not exactly prepared for that, giving him a lot of possession. They're also going to be giving Jeezer a lot of possession too, but for now, we'll fall right back to him in the corner. Can he find anything? No. Chan coming in very aggressively, looking middle, and two players from Bama there, but neither one able to hit.
Close, and Gray will keep control here. Tried dumping that ball off up the back wall, but Kung will find a way out of defense this time around for his team. Goes low underneath the first challenger, but nothing in the tank. Can't keep offense going himself. Needs his teammates to step up, but it just conceded on the goal line. Jay Jeezer can't keep the ball close, and Gray steals another.
All right, well, one mistake happened earlier for Bama with Chan's miss. Now we get one from Jay Jeezer. So we're tied. 90 to go here. Bama, 2 unanswered.
And now we need UTK to respond. They're the ones that are on the wrong side of momentum at the moment, as Alabama have gotten going, and Agonize has to cut quickly to make sure there's no shot opportunity for Trizen, who cuts off that one for his teammate. So the Crimson Tide in full control of the field at the moment. Possession is completely flipped relative to how we saw this game start.
As we say that, though, there's a lot of UTK dominance in the midfield, so it's going to be a 1v1. Agonize looking to fake under, looks for that corner. Coming up next, faking 1-2. How about the third? No, what a save from Chan. Gray up next, banging that one downfield. A minute to go. UTK trying to make sure they can stay alive with an extra opportunity or two, but Bama having none of it.
Double commit right there, but Agonize's third man still finds a way to get a shot on target. That one too far off to the side. It's just A shot to make sure the Bama defense is awake on the goal line, or see if they are. This time, trying to get the ball to Kung, unsuccessful, so Bama have a chance. Gray has been the deliverer of offense this game, and here on the goal line, couldn't get Jay Jeezer out of the way before that shot crossed the plane of the net. Gray will try again with a shot on frame, but Agonize gets out the block.
Agonize kicking it out. Chan there cut it off, but not exactly the touch they wanted. Gray in an awkward spot. Backwards. Here comes Kung. Looks for that far side. Dunked by Gray. Here comes the counterattack. Ball will sit in the midfield. Chan looks for the dunk. Nothing will be found. Ken tries and find a pass midfield. Beats one. Goes middle. Here comes a shot. 2 seconds to go. Bama finds their third.
3 in a row for Alabama. It's Trizin and Gray linking up to give Gray a hat trick, and more importantly, a Bama lead. 2 seconds left now. UTK need to keep this ball up.
We'll see this one sit perfectly on the ground, though, and Bama slow to warm up, but quick to keep their foot on the gas. Dominant 3 goals in a row in the last 2 minutes.
Wow, that's an impressive comeback. As dire as things were looking at the beginning, with Tennessee controlling possession, controlling opportunities, limiting Alabama on the other side of the field, I thought for sure they were just going to step up, come in here as the favorites, and dominate from the get-go. But Alabama showed us all that experience they've got and the value of that when it comes down to playing some Rocket League.
And for UTK, I really don't feel like there was a lot done wrong. I mean, they played solid defense towards the end. They had the shots, but it kind of got to a point where maybe the pressure wasn't sustained enough, and then it left these awkward counterattacks. But also, and I hate saying this because you mentioned that maybe UTK were the favorites based on playing time, I think Bama at their floor is still a top 10 team in the SEL, and especially against a UTK roster. Maybe not the original, but I think this is natural day in the office for him.
I wouldn't say their floor is at a level that can compete with UTK. I've seen Alabama's floor, and it can go pretty low at times, but I will agree that their average performance, it can be better than UTK. I thought they had just been grinding more during the break. That's why I gave UTK the edge here, but so far, Bama has shown us that just a couple weeks of not playing together isn't going to harm them too much.
We can meet in the middle. Their average performance is at a high level, because you're right. Definitely have been maybe trauma blocked a few Alabama losses in my time casting them in SEL. But this is a new year. It's maybe a new team. All the new year, new me crap can be put to bed right here. Chan, right side, saved away by Agonize.
Good block. That would have been big if Alabama comes in and scores their 4th in a row against UTK in the first 40 seconds. Well, it still might, but the Volunteers really cannot afford to keep this downturn going. And Agonize, all he can do is watch as tries and barrels through him, wins a challenge, and eventually sets up Chan for a shot, though Kung gets in the way. Agonize is alone in defense. UTK are getting spread out very thin on their back line and need to be careful.
I have a sneaking suspicion, though, that either Captain Zach or maybe a Coach Jobro or Shaka has said something. Because now we're not seeing UTK throw themselves towards net, throw themselves towards opportunities as much unless there's an open chance. And Agonize, bottom left.
Hey, that's how you recollect yourself. A simple beat at the midfield line, finds an open backboard, Gray misses a read, and, I mean, that's where openings have been for UTK this series. Alabama don't look quite comfortable on all ends of the field. They're missing reads. They're looking a bit awkward defensively at times. And right there, just one 50-50 victory has turned the tides of game 2.
I just saw Rule 1. We'll see Jeezy try and keep things moving. So it looks like we will have a 2v2 that will be respected here in the only a second game back for 2025 TNL. That it looks like no one's going to break it either. We'll see Kung maybe solo effort towards his teammate, but for now, we'll watch Jeezy wait in the midst. It's a soft touch, trying to beat Chan, but Chan not too concerned. Now here comes the counter. Might accidentally end up bumping a player, has to just barely avoid the Rule 1, and now Kung on the counter won't stay on it. Gray, free touch, but also awkward for him as well. Reset won't work either. Counterattack, open net, bar down, no, doesn't even need it, and Jeezy finds the freebie.
All right, so apparently UTK have been practicing those twos games, and it makes sense. I think Kung and Jeezy would be the ones playing twos together. But hey, you claim yourself a 2-goal lead now, and hopefully UTK, for their own sake, can exercise some demons that might have popped up from last game.
Ball will roll up in favor of UTK, trying to keep the momentum going, but maybe that's not what the main concern should be given the events of last game, as we haven't approached the 2-minute mark just yet, and something tells me that Alabama's got a secret weapon of some kind where they just start to turn it on in clutch scenarios, and if they keep it within 2 goals, we're going to be staring right back at the same scenario that we just saw.
Well, game 1, their secret weapon was Gray. Popped off with a hat trick, including the game winner there with 2 seconds to go, but he's been quiet, just 58 points in the first half of game 2. That is a nice challenge by Trizen to get things going. Chan follows it up with a demo. That gives Gray space. Anytime to get him unlocked again. Trying to win through the corner, he does, but couldn't get around the ball for a shot and had no teammate to shoot as they'd both been demoed.
You mentioned Gray leading the way, but everything that I remember in terms of Alabama last season, it was mostly the Trizen show. In terms of mechanics and setting up his teammates, it was mostly Chan kind of clearing a path, Gray playing maybe a second man like right here, or potentially finding a demo of their own, then Trizen kind of using his mechs to beat 1 or 2. And right here, there goes 1. He's going to look for a second, but that setup with under 2 minutes to go is just a little awkward. Pinch will come through. Will be given away, though, to GZ, and now off the backboard, maybe looks for a reset. There it is, but too far into the ball. Kung must come in and try and make a play, but now at the corner, Bama's surviving, gets a touchdown field, and they're going to have some time to reboot here.
It's just a force in the corner. 2 players dive in for Alabama, and yet UTK still can't find a way out. GZ on the backboard with a ton of boost, but use the majority of it, just trying to find some control of the ball. So Bama will keep themselves going in the offensive zone, and Trizen, I think he double committed there, but had enough boost to make a play on the Chan touch, and he's just missed. It's so awkward on the field right now. No one's really able to read their opposition, but with 60 seconds left, that favors UTK because Alabama are the ones that need goals.
Oh, and almost a perfect pinch between the 2 cars with Trizen and Gray trying to combine for something special. But now Chan off the backboard might just open up a lane, but Kung, extremely clutch touch here. Now, open shot for Trizen. It's actually going to be saved by Agonize. Now Gray's up next. Tries to avoid the demo, will not. This shot will be blocked as well. UTK defense standing stoutly, but they're not done just yet. Agonize finally bangs it away.
And that is going to help UTK so much. Looks like Alabama were very close to finding themselves a way back into game 2 here, but been given by the Volunteers. That was close, though. Kung had no boost and had to cut quickly across the midfield. Otherwise, Bama would have had an open net. And with 20 seconds now to go, UTK are in firm control of game 2 here. Doesn't look like a repeat of game 1's going to happen where they tossed that 2-goal lead. Unless Bama give us something to go with about 10 seconds left, but no, it's not going to happen.
Oh, and Chan's missed touch right there. That was probably the last golden opportunity. We're just going to watch GZ not touch the ball. Doesn't need to, and as the clock hits 0, UTK bounces back. The new roster showing some mental prowess early.
It's good. I mean, as shaky as it looked in the back half of game 1, that kind of causes concerns to raise up for a team. But hey, Tennessee did well recovering in game 2. They scored early, didn't relinquish that lead. I mean, they were backed up a decent bit in defense, and they don't look completely comfortable on their goal line at times. There's a lot of double commits, a lot of awkward misses as well at the midfield third, but they got the job done there in game 2.
Yeah, and a complete change of play style for the most part in terms of what UTK was doing before. They slowed down, took some more possessions, only picked up the pace when they needed to. There's one analogy that I think is going to be one of my things this year that I fall back on. I've been talking a lot about Rocket League being like pickleball, where it is even no, hear me out. Where it's even pacing throughout, and then the moment that you find a gap, you've got to send the house. And most teams can do that successfully. I know that's one thing I talked about with Bruton Parker in last year's finals. They mastered that. UTK, a team that has the ability to do so. And Bama just kind of throws that analogy out the window. Most of the time, it is go, go, go. Unfortunately, it was a little too much. I saw 2 very critical double taps with under 2 minutes to go, and that right there cannot happen, especially in a best of 7.
All right. I like the analogy there. Always looking for that weakness, ready to up the ante just a little bit. And it didn't happen too much on that Bama side. UTK equalized the series here, but didn't win the possession game. They had opportunities in offense, but Bama spent more time in that offensive zone themselves. Still, UTK didn't concede, and that's a nice clear to help that trend keep on going.
Yeah, Bama with a lot of early pressure, but right as that kind of leaves the station, we'll see Tries in an awkward spot. 50 over. Kung uncontested, untouched as well. And now off the backboard, off the ceiling maybe, not able to come back down. Open net though, Agonize, it's off. Tryzen's able to get to it, and UTK get their first chance, but as the last game went, I don't think it's going to be their last anytime soon.
That's a nice challenge. JGZ, sorry. JGZ, a little
Changed
bit too
it.
much for me. Yeah, he did change it on us, but either way, J. Cole, JGZ, GZ, man of many names, either way, good challenge there at the midfield line and all of that, springing from a simple 50-50. They didn't even get UTK any possession, but that one will do a bit more, though his dive follow-up isn't good enough, and we'll just keep on battling here through the midfield, see who comes away with some offense.
UTK defense looking a little disjointed. Kung can't get to this ball, but also Bama's offense isn't much better. Not a lot of boost. Obviously, Tryzen trying to go for a bump with nothing in the tank, not able to find a touch. Agonize now up to a backwards Chan, who's actually might find a teammate here. No, Gray decided to rotate out. This ball, though, will fall right back to Tryzen. I think he wanted to pop that ball, but instead, we'll see Agonize and Chan potentially meet. He's got time, though, a backflip maybe to set up a teammate. Gray now off the corner. Not much he can find, but it will be right back to Chan. Bama's got a nice rotation starting to grow here.
Tryzen's low on boost there, tracking that play in the corner, but still catches out Kung, and now Gray with plenty in the tank to keep the chain of 50s going will contest. He's ready for that, and that net is mightily undefended. Tryzen got back to make a save, but I don't know how that ball got so close to being scored. Alabama seem a bit haphazard at times, not always defending their net when they need to be.
I mean, we talked about them not playing for the first time until tonight. I think they just don't care. I don't even know if it's a matter of disrespect towards UTK. I think they just genuinely don't care, and maybe a little too much left behind in the mental capacity, as I don't know what comms were set here.
Well, yeah, Chan just side flipped right there. I don't even know if that was a calm, because Tryzen was already out of the play. Gray was very out of the play, and Chan was the third man committing in the corner. He had to make contact there and could not. So maybe some more de-rusting still required for the Crimson Tide, but hey, there it is, taking advantage of mistakes. Tennessee find themselves first blood.
Bama right back on the front foot, though, putting the pedal down once again like we saw in game one. Now, granted, that 2 minutes of offense is about the only major offense that we've seen from Bama, so not a whole lot of film to go off of in terms of success and stuff to look at, but how about this passing play right here? Gray cannot find it. Now Chan looks for a 50, but is dunked by GZ, and this actually could be a shot potentially, as it'll go off the corner. A player could be middle. It will be Agonize off the backboard. Not able to find the read, and Chan maybe a little too strong off the wall there. He's going to go once again, this time off the ceiling too strong, and now Kung, free backboard. Agonize, no boost, but does want a shot. A player will come through in demo, and it will be Kung, freeing up a lane.
Oh, and that demo is the only way that ball gets scored. That was such a light shot, but, I mean, that was the full plan of UTK right there. Kung calling demo on the goal line, Agonize recognizing it, just putting a shot on target, knowing full well if that demo connects, it's a UTK goal. But off kickoff, Tryzen tried to force in a goal just to get one back for Bama, but he couldn't get it to go. Neither can Chan, and Gray jumped in as well. That net's exposed. There is no one back until Gray rotates quickly, though Kung collects and scores 3-0.
Where's the third man? Bama just narrowly get away with this open net, and then I watched somebody disappear. It looks like it was Chan. Gone and forgotten in the other corner.
I think he just fully expected Gray to keep that ball close and not just dump it out to the side and concede possession after it was kind of gifted to him. I mean, that open net attempt was right at a Gray that recovered nicely through a bump as well. Alabama had all the pieces of recovery right there, but just made some critical errors. Again, it feels like de-rusting going on, but 4-0 is the product of that. UTK is in firm control here.
I mean, put it on. Not a single Alabama player made a touch on the ball for that entire sequence, and that is just simply not allowed. Your first man's got to make at least an effort to push a player off or to push the ball away, but 4-0, there's a lot more to handle than just that.
Well, Jeezy looking for a stylish solo play, but is shut down by Gray. Kung dodges Gray looking for a bump there, and UTK again. I mean, it's not always pretty in defense, but they are finding a way to get the job done, and that certainly helps. Bama aren't always executing offensively, but that's a nice read. Kung coming off the back wall and finding a save, and the rebound doesn't quite connect.
Chan with enough boost to make a play, but once again, another Alabama passing play where the second man just doesn't hit the ball. They'll try and change that, though, as now Chan is there with the pre-jump. Gray wants the backboard. Instead, will find the dunk. We see a Trizon shot, not yet as it will go off the wall, but how about this one? Slam top left off the bar, open net for Gray. Can he tap it in? He misses. Trizon's gonna turn around. Can he do anything? Gray's gone still on us like a statue. Can he find a pass middle? Maybe 30 seconds left. Gray is finally tapped back into the game, but at this point, Alabama's lost their pressure once again. Chan will try and put something on net, but too weak here. As I say that, though, wait a minute. Open corner, tries it up next.
Okay.
Finally, Bama gets something to go off of in the last 20 seconds.
Okay, I mean, if that didn't result in a goal right there, I think Gray fully would have just left the lobby, and I don't know if he's coming back. It seems like he is not himself at the moment, and it's probably annoying him. If I know these Bama guys like that, these slight misses, it's just the product of not playing in a little while, but it's going to annoy players like this that are so used to being at a high level in Rocket League. They're just not looking good at the moment, and I'm sure it's tilting. But look, Game 3 was lost a while ago. They've got a couple more games here to fully recover, but better do it soon, because UTK is starting to style on them.
All right, wait a minute. The former B team boys showing why they're the A-listers here. A little bit of style on the red carpet in front of the Bama net. Top right, why not? Get one more for confidence. But I hope with Bama and knowing these guys, I don't think it's tilt. I hope that they're simply just laughing at it and having a good time. Yeah. This should be, I think, more of a scrim to them, given their recent history. But obviously, bragging rights on the line tonight. There's some important values to still playing, and we'll see what they got in Game 4.
I mean, 7 shots, only 3 of them saved, 1 went in. That's a couple that go by the wayside. The shooting boots aren't quite on the members of this Bama team, but hey, they're readying up fairly quickly, so I think we'll get straight into Game 4. As that was a blowout, yes, but it's one of those that gets away from you early, and then we saw the pre-jumps there that Alabama were going for. I don't think they were fully locked in for the end of that game, and I expect a reset now.
All right, well, let's see what they got here in the tank, here on the field. We enter Game 4, and Bama in a very rough spot in terms of the entire game, even the game that they won, like I mentioned. There's only so much to truly pull from in terms of what have they done well, but also I don't know where to start with what can they improve on. I guess the first thing would be hit the ball after we watch 2 shots go awry, and Trizon will try and keep that theme maybe moving the opposite direction, and they'll put a shot on net. Here comes an opportunity, but the bump in the demo actually works in UTK's favor.
Okay, slow 50 is exactly what Agonize needed to go for right there, and it doesn't result in offense for UTK, but it doesn't allow him an immediate opportunity. That was very close for Trizon. Gray plays the open backboard. No immediate follow-up, and Chan has just missed the ball there in the offensive zone. Doesn't flip the field. Trizon's allowed a shot on target, and Chan was up front looking to harass that UTK defense, though they dodge him and find the save.
We'll see if Bama can maybe get off to the first start for the first time, I think, in any of the games we've seen so far. And they do look solid here in the first minute, finding some open lanes like Trizon, beating one and I believe forcing a double commit there out of UTK. But now Kung, wait a minute, reset off the backboard. It's going to stay in front. And how about that from Kung? Maybe pulling some of the UTK A-team energy from last semester into that reset.
Look, I've been calling him the Magic Man on the Nightlight show matches and other streams I've casted him. He just pulls goals out of nowhere sometimes. But speaking of, Chan from the sidewall just put a shot on and the defense wasn't home.
Well, there you go, Chan. Get one early. Jeezy unfortunately comes up a little too far. Third man cannot be past front post, which he already knows that. I think it's just simple lapse in judgment. But Bama, you'll take what you get. You punish the mistakes.
I mean, the Kung whiff certainly didn't help either. I think Jeezy was probably playing some contact there. But hey, Kung will make up for it immediately off kickoff, and we're tied up again.
All right, well, just like that, I see the vision for Gray, but that pass just a little too weak, and Kung says, thank you. Give me a free one to tie up with my own mistake being the reason that obviously they got that first goal on the board, but tied back to square one.
90 seconds in, going back and forth again. I think we spared another blowout that we were treated to in Game 3. Both sides fairly even possession, but it's a chance now for Alabama. That ball is falling dangerously into the UTK box, and Trizen's there on cleanup duty.
UTK, a slight lapse with a double commit. Agonize, I think, just trying to maybe find a bump, but a little too little there at the wrong time, and way too easy for Trizen. Bama takes the lead back just like that.
And that has been the issue for this version of the UTK roster at times. In those weird situations, you got two guys rotating back, both about even length away from the ball. They're not sure who's supposed to go for it, and it results in those double commits that just cascade into worse and worse situations. And right there, a goal concession and a lead lost. But hey, good stop there on the goal line. That could have easily been 3 for Alabama, but Kung's getting antsy in offense, going for bumps. Agonize has found Jeezy across the box, and Bama there for a stop by way of Gray.
There's a trade there that might just open the net for Trizen. He'll slot it bottom left, but I don't even think it would have mattered, as what a crucial trade that was up by Gray, I believe. Or no, sorry, Chan.
Yeah, Agonize, no boost, rotating back, and after Kung was taken out, there was no one with enough in the tank to get to that goal line before the ball. Great play, nice transition for Alabama, and now they're starting to do to UTK what UTK did to them the last game. So Volunteers need a quick response, and again, they found one off kickoff.
I mean, what is happening here in the last minute? Goal after goal, mistake after mistake. I mean, that right there, Trizen saw Agonize coming, didn't really try to play a low 50, and you know what? Fair play to Agonize. I guess predicted the right play, made the right moves, and UTK is one step closer to tying it up.
Just a gamble gone wrong for Alabama, and on the flip side, a gamble gone right for Tennessee off kickoff. They found both goals so far in Game 4, but we're only at halftime, 5 goals in. This is a shootout between Bama and UTK, and Shannon trying to keep that going, but a bit too awkward. A moment on the goal line results in nothing for the Crimson Tide.
That right there, a pretty golden chance for Bama, but they will not be able to convert it. They have beat that theme of the last few games, especially right here, as this ball is going to stay in the UTK half. And I would imagine that that's got to at least build a little bit of confidence for this squad, especially after losing the past game pretty handily. And now they almost find a double there. That's great. Maybe trying to channel some Game 1, Game 2 style magic from him. But we'll see Chan take his place in the corner. Can he find a pass middle? It will be pinched away, and Kung, he'll be the first to touch this ball. Fake out Trizen. Chan's right there behind him, and Trizen will take a bump out of it. Gray by himself, maybe off the backboard. It will be hit away by Jeezy. UTK handling things well here.
Still, it's pressure out in front. Have to make sure they stay clean, and Jeezy's awkward. Kung's got no boost on the goal line, but Agonize zoned Gray off the ball with a fake challenge right there, and that is very well timed. The pressure release valve for that UTK defense, who once again we put under the gun. Big touch off the Alabama back wall results in a shot, but Jeezy was prepared for it.
Jeezy looks for more too. How about a pinch? That does get a little bit of power, but not enough to beat a player. Now Trizen's gonna get some power of his own. Kung is there to just narrowly tap that one away, but this ball's got to flip field soon for UTK. They're the ones down here.
Their defense, though, is keeping this game manageable. At the very least, it's all you can ask for with this avalanche of Bama pressure. Jeezy misses off the backboard. Everyone thought he was hitting it, so Kung and Agonize were out of position, but Bama missed a chance. Kung, 1v1 goes too high. The crossbar saves a would-be equalizer, and UTK stay down.
I mean, Gray called out Jeezy. He knew he was missing. We didn't, but he did, and now he does make the save, so Jeezy's able to get a counter going, beats a player, but now Gray's up next. Look for some more potential game-closing magic that Bama's shown in the past win. Chan up next off the backboard. It could be a shot for Trizen. Jeezy awkward. Trizen trying to keep possession instead. Beats him twice. Agonize in a very awkward spot. Does get bumped as well. Chan, backboard. Looks for maybe some sort of tap down. And Trizen, I think, free jump for this one. It could be the dagger.
A doomsy dish pass from Alabama to put Game 4 on ice. I mean, that's on target, yes, but Kung is absolutely saving Chan's shot, so Trizen had to be up for that to secure the 4th for the Crimson Tide, and it looks like they'll secure Game 4 unless off kickoff, again, UTK scores, but this time, Gray's on the goal line to make sure this game goes their way. Trizen a chance to make it 5, and it is taken away from his Gray. It shoots too high. Doesn't matter, though. Alabama have equalized the series.
Well, how about that? Some Crimson confidence out of absolute left field. Not sure where that scoring spree came from, and something tells me the chat might see what we're seeing too. 3 for 10 for Trizon alone. Don't even regard the other 9 shots that Bama got.
Wow, that's an avalanche of pressure, absolutely. And we saw it as well. I mean, UTK was struggling at times to find clears, and their defense was performing incredibly just to keep that game close. But, man, when you're having to rely on your defense to stay so consistently good on your back line, eventually it's going to fold, and UTK's offense, rather, couldn't keep up with the moments when their defense did fold. So going into Game 5, I mean, this is easy analysis, but they've got to find a way to clear the zone some more.
I'm really glad that the professional collegiate coach gave us some of that very crystal clear analysis. No, I agree. And again, I kind of fall into the same thing with Tennessee, where they're really not playing that bad. It's just a few double commits here and there that Bama, unfortunately for them, is a team who is tier 1 level, and they will punish you 9 times out of 10. Now, granted, Bama not at their absolute best right now coming off the break, but for UTK, a team that's been playing, a team that's been in tournaments, a team that's been together for a semester now, not as much tenure as Bama, but they should still be more consistent, and it's not showing just yet.
No, and I will go into deeper analysis of UTK's defense at the moment. I'm watching as Gray sets up an opportunity. Okay, thank you, Kung. I'll keep talking about my analysis. At times, it feels like the UTK back line, whoever's next up in rotation, is just watching a high ball. They aren't challenging it fast enough, and that's allowing Alabama easier challenges. The guy that's looking for a shot can't find a shot made, but he's allowed at the very least a challenge into the UTK corner where Bama can keep offense going.
Oh, no.
And as a result of that, UTK stay on their back line, and in this case, not anywhere near their back line. It's an open net for Alabama, giving them first blood.
We just watched Kung do this to Gray off a weak pass, and now they do the exact same thing the other direction. So I think, on top of what you said, I'll throw in some analysis as well. I think there's a lot of mental blocks happening right now. Obviously, the higher level Rocket League than the average games that the UK got last semester. I know they were at tier 1, but it has been a little bit, and that was showing it. They found 2 games. This series is still tied, believe it or not. And now Agonize will try and show us all that UTK's got what it takes to compete. We'll see Jeezy take a stab at it. Gray is past both of them. Looks for one middle. Kung just narrowly avoids the play and beats 1 and 50's Chan. He's got a chance for a player to come through, but UTK too slow. The net might just be too open, but Agonize gives him a little bit of time. Here comes the counter.
Jeezy with room to work now. Has to get creative to get to the first couple of defenders, but does well. Give the Volunteers an opportunity to set up their offense, though a couple of 50s lost results in Agonize awkward on the goal line. And that's what I'm talking about, those misses right there. It's costing UTK chances and giving Alabama opportunities, but Bama, you can't get too focused on those offensive chances and not rotate back. I think a demo didn't help that fact, but still, there's no one home.
I'm a little puzzled. I know that Gray got demoed, but Chan didn't immediately rotate back. I think followed up the wall for a potential bump, but I mean, that's a crucial demo from I didn't see which UTK player got it, but as I say that, more demos will come through. This time it's Bama. Maybe it's Kung, though, finding a bump, trying to keep that stat even across the board. 2 very aggressive teams, and you can see it as Trizon looks for that corner, but instead, ball will roll up. It will bounce right back down, though, and Trizon's got another stab.
Jeezy, no boost, but had momentum off the ceiling there to power behind the ball. Results in a UTK clear. Agonizes downfield. Looking to cherry pick something, and doesn't come up with much. And Jeezy's like, all right, enough with offense. Let's play some more defense here. And Kung's fine with that. He makes a big save. The follow-up is stopped by Jeezy. Agonize was up for it, but it was all smoke and mirrors. This is just how UTK plays defense now.
Also, I think my mic was bugging for a little bit, so apologies to chat. I don't know what happened there.
It's just an OBS thing. You're all good.
Okay. All right. Awesome. Well, thank you, producer Bepic, for the notice. We'll see Jeezy try and maybe keep some non-robotic play going, as it's been a lot of very messy demos, a lot of messy bumps that slowly seem to open lanes. Trizon now will continue that going. We'll actually get bumped and find a bump of zone at the same time. Chan can't turn on this ball, but him and Gray will combine for some weird double commit, and Chan's got full boost right back at it, and that ball was dangerous before it hit the hood of Agonize, and Jeezy just trying to give his boys some time.
No contact there. Actually helps Trizin out. He gets the ball to Gray, who changed cars in between games. So maybe there's something to be said about the new Fennec that Gray's rocking, though. He hasn't returned to that Game 1 form just yet, so hasn't given him that power, though. Waiting for a center ball that never comes. Chance is driven past the ball. Maybe he needs a car change as well. It's a weird series to open up Tuesday Night Lights, and I honestly don't think there is any better way to get this series going again.
We've gotten chaotic, good, neutral, and bad throughout multiple
Yeah.
players in this series, and I agree with you. I hope it stays that way, and especially with 90 seconds left, I would imagine things are going to continue to get just a little messy. We'll see if Chan can maybe keep that going off the side. Well, Trizin was already up, and that's a weak shot. Agonize, though, a weak clear as well. No boost for Trizin, but maybe he doesn't need it. But how about this full field pinch? Chan in an awkward spot. Agonize is up next. Chan, though, will try and stall. GZ bottom side is where he wanted to shoot, but two players there to cover that. Now Gray on the counter, one to beat. Agonize does not find the read, and Bama takes another late lead.
So that's what the new Fennec has in store for us. A Gray solo play off the sidewall that results in an emphatic second goal for Alabama, and they claim a late lead here in Game 5. 61 seconds left, and UTK fight from behind again, but the kickoffs this series have been the friend of UTK. It gives them an opportunity. Jeezy on frame, and Agonize secures it. We're tied up once more.
All right, we'll open up the chaos once again. Why don't you? What a great 50 from, I believe, was it Kung or Agonize? I didn't even notice, but regardless, it opens up the entire middle of the field and just a little too slow to react from Bama.
Those kickoffs, they'll help you at least get back into a series. Maybe not win it outright for UTK just yet, but they have been strong off of those face-offs, and that was something about the old UTK A team that maybe they've carried over. Very good in the kickoff game. As Kung there on the ball, that's up Agonize for a clear down the sideline. He's being bullied by Trizin, who gets back to 50 him. Alabama in a rough spot now, out in front. Trizin has to make a save. Agonize centers it, but Gray is fully prepared for that play. It's in the way of it. Finds Alabama some breathing room.
Tennessee, though, in a very awkward spot. This right here could be a potential double for Trizin, but neither him or Chan will find the touch, so Gray has to get something. Chan is there to make a quick turn if he wants. He will. Is there a touch? There's a shot. It's barely too high. Kung has the chance for a quick counter. Has to watch out for Trizin. This one will hit the ground. How about this one? We get our first overtime of the new year.
I'll take it. Close Game 5 to give one of these two teams match points. And a reminder for those that haven't kept track with my discussions about the upgrades to TNL this season, we will have an interview at the end of this series with one of the winning team's players, should they choose it. And I would imagine both these teams have players that want to hop on stream for a spell. So that's also at stake here. Not just pride, not just an improvement to your all-time Nightlight Showmatch record, but get to hop up in the booth with me and TJ. So big overtime right now in Game 5 to give an important advantage to Bama or UTK.
A chance to appear on the MrBepic stream, I think, is really all that you would have had to say there. And maybe they're going to fight a little bit harder for it. We'll see if Trizin can maybe find something. But UTK finding some bumps on the back line. Bama, though, handling it well. I mean, you would imagine that they'd be able to handle their own style of play, and they might just be doing the teaching, because that right there through the smoke and the mirrors, Chan finds the goal.
How is Chan allowed to get back to this ball? He had no boost. That was a simple front flip forward play where he's the first to it out of all the other 5 players on the field and scores on an open net. That is rough transition defense from UTK, and Alabama will be the ones claiming that first match point, and they will move into Game 6 with a big advantage now.
We'll see a car change as well from UTK, which it really doesn't matter that much. I just like pointing it out because it shows that UTK is looking for a reset. I mean, you literally have no choice. It's a best of 7. You've been battling your hardest, and that's why I'm also not surprised to see we just saw Zach back out. Agonize isn't readied up yet. There's a lot of internal coaching going on right now, which Jobro has informed us that him and Shaka are not helping.
Okay.
It is just the team and their own mental, and Captain Zach hopefully leading the way in their case to 2 game wins in a row against an Alabama team that seems to be finding its footing in the last 2 games here.
That makes sense. I am a big fan of Kung in that captain role this season. He hit SSL for the first time in the last month or so. He really has been improving since we last saw him make his debut, I think back in August or September, whenever that was, on UTK White. He has improved so much and has imparted a lot of skill upon this new UTK A team. So we'll see what he's cooking up for Game 6 now, but it is Alabama with momentum here. Let's see what they can do with it.
I gotta shout out Mr. Kung here too, because that is a crew Octane. I can't say I've seen that one used before, and so we'll see maybe if it benefits, but as I say that, there might just be an open net for Bama. It's a great read from Jeezy though, and already UTK off on the wrong foot.
They wait so long to cut in defense for awkward balls like that where Jeezy has to make the first play on it. He waits until it leaks further out towards the Alabama now controlled midfield line, and now Agonize can't read the bounce off the backboard in time, and Alabama have claimed first blood.
The last thing you want here in Game 6. You do not want to start down a goal. Now, granted, there is still plenty of time left to play, but this right here is going to be UTK's first big mental test.
Gotta come back from one goal down. I've done it a couple of times this series, but Trizen will try to make it too. He's the guy that's typically the most lethal on the ball for this Bama roster, but it's been Gray this series that has a lot of the highlight reel plays for the Crimson Tide. He's just been beaten handily right there in the corner, and Agonize and Jeezy clean up.
All right, Agonize finding just a sliver of net here. A little too unconventional on the form, but who cares? Far down, gets the clip, and it's a crucial one at that, tying the game up.
Hey, he hit it with the strong side of his car. That's all that matters at the end of the day, especially with it going into the back of the net. But hey, equalized game immediately. UTK wastes no time to get back level, but is there a lead in store here? Kung wins the first challenge in the Alabama corner, but it's up to Agonize to keep UTK in the offensive zone, and he cannot. So Bama get themselves a half chance, actually maybe a full chance there. Gray went a bit too far over the side with it, though.
It's a great 50 from Chan as well. It actually might open up, but watch Kung come out of nowhere and find a great touch. Gray just wants to take some possession, but that right there, dangerous bounces on the back wall, and it will be maybe 2-3 touches for Chan, and actually will find Gray. Chan looks to maybe clear a path, and instead, Gray will not find it. Tries will be faked out. Jeezy on the counter, has full boost, looks for a pass, and narrowly beats Trizen. It's hit off his car, though, so Kung's got to reset off the sidewall. Won't beat Trizen either. Now Agonize gets a chance of his own off the backboard. Gray's got to watch out. Chan will take his place, kind of maybe trying to pre-hit against that kind of bump play that UTK was setting up. Not exactly sure. I don't know what I'm explaining in terms of anything in this series, because all I'm seeing is scores regardless of the side.
Agonize is beaten right there at the midfield line. Kung getting demoed on the near side was what really blew that play up, because Jeezy had no boost and had to read so much about that play. Could not. And Alabama jump out in front again, and now all eyes turn again to the three blue cars on the field, as they have typically found fast equalizers, but kickoff doesn't go their way, and yet Jeezy has a chance in a solo play situation to set himself up, but couldn't win the challenge, so we will slow down for now.
It's hard to follow the chaos, both from our perspective and from the player's perspective. And so UTK, you'll notice, I would imagine they're going to use at least the next minute 30 to try and play slow and methodical and slowly start to open up the Alabama defense and find a lane. Kung will very quickly jump down and accidentally push his ball middle. Luckily had a flip to use and a 50. And as I say that, there actually might be some speed coming out of the offense here. Kung looks middle, awkward in front of the net. Agonize up next, but Trizen playing hero ball in front of the Bama net.
Kung has beaten Trizen. He goes back wall, but can't drop the shot on target. Jeezy can, though, goes top right and ties us up 2 apiece.
I thought that Kung miss was going to hurt, but it didn't matter. Chan with a great cut, but it's just too weak. And Gray, I mean, there's only so much you can do when it's placed that perfectly. Shout out to Jeezy.
This is such a fun series. I love that this is the opener for Tuesday Night Lights. And I mean, it's a good preview as well if we're looking at the CCS this season. 2 teams that in the SEC with this the former UTK A team all retiring have a real shot at maybe winning the SEC. A&M and South Carolina could be contenders, but if UTK's making plays like that, I don't see why they shouldn't be.
What happened to Agonize? Who picked up the controller? Look at the shot. The redirect was almost perfect, and it was as it opened up the net regardless eventually. But wow, Agonize stepping up huge here in an elimination game.
I know Shaka taught him that one. That's some wisdom imparted right there. But 3-2, big redirect gives UTK the edge to potentially send us to Game 7. Minute 40 left. Chan 1v1 against Kung and forces an own goal. UTK have given the lead up.
I mean, Jeezy's not even in the wrong spot. He's supposed to be there. It's just so unfortunate that it just hits his hood so quickly, unable to react, and somehow we continue to go goal for goal after each lead change.
Oh, back and forth. We continue to fight in Game 6. Double commit from UTK will result in a free chance for Chan. He can't put it on target. There was a defender there for UTK, but Jeezy out down to Kung on target, but saved by Trizin. Gray looks to clear, and we'll be agonizing that challenge up the side wall. Gray solo play. Can't get it through Jeezy, though. We'll keep this game tied.
Almost 60 to go, and Chan almost finds a late touch there with his jumps, and there's a lot of touches being made by UTK here in the midfield. Also an accidental bump. Bama will survive, though. Gray with a narrow save. Chan gets a narrow 50 as well. Ty, can he find anything? No. Gray down the field, looks for more reset middle, but Chan wasn't there, and Trizin isn't there at all. He's bumped. Here comes Jeezy. Can't find anything. Wants the slow play off the backboard. Gray's up next. 40 seconds to go.
Agonize, doesn't keep the ball close, but still chips the ball around a couple of advancing Bama players. Does well to beat all three of them, or at the very least, beat two of them and take a neutral 50 against the third, though Alabama recover. They take a shot, and Agonize is out of position. Alabama have stolen a lead.
Gray just quickly turns around, finds a passing play, and this time Bama places it where it needs to go, between two. Agonize in no man's land.
He lost his position on the goal line and crept too close to the near side post and didn't cover as much of the net as he could have on that shot. So the Crimson Tide lead with 20 seconds left. UTK, what kind of clutch do you have in store for us?
Oh, Kung might just show you right here. There goes two. Here comes Jeezy. Backboard. Trizin's there. Last man back. It is 4-4 here in Game 6.
You have got to be kidding me. A 3v1 is converted. Trizin didn't play it all that poorly, but he had no boost. He had to read that backboard bounce, and well, UTK capitalized on that awkward position for him. 4-4, but Chan, with a chance to maybe take another regulation lead, is stopped by Agonize. Trizin, rebound, couldn't make contact, so Gray has to buy time. Agonize to shoot, he misses, Kung misses, Jeezy scores! 5-4, UTK won Game 7.
Bama, Game 6, crash out and burn! Completely open on the back end. Gray gets an awkward touch, and all three members of UTK there. Still time to work with, 2 seconds left.
UTK return serve for what Bama did earlier when they scored a game winner with 2 seconds left. Agonize will make it 6. But UTK have forced Game 7. Can you believe that?
Our highest scoring game of the series, and it could not have come at a better point in the night. A huge win for Tennessee. I talked about the mental challenge, and they have aced it for now. We go to Champions Field.
Oh, this is such a Tuesday Night Lights series. I mean, Game 7 to kick things off. Got an overtime or two, a 6-4 that just went back and forth the entire 5 minutes. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Tuesday Night Lights.
I heard Tuesday Night Lights was back. I heard casters were needed. I said, put me on for this series, because even though we had our favorites early on, I think we both knew that we were going to see at least 6. That's what I said in the pre-show, and I'm glad that we got at least 6, and even happier that we get a Game 7 and that we get to go under the Tuesday Night Lights officially on Champions Field.
Look, I mean, that Agonize redirect to set up a goal earlier in that game, I think is a big turning point for Tennessee. They're starting to gain confidence mechanically, and they're starting to execute on that confidence mechanically, and that is dangerous. If there's one word to describe the entirety of UTK Rocket League all time, at least since the Joe Bro and Shaka era kicked off a couple of years ago, it's confidence. And that is a scary sight for Alabama in Game 7.
Well, the bragging rights, the interviews, the Bepic showcases in general have always been special, have always been fun, have always been great content here on Tuesday nights. And Bama and UTK have given us more than just a show. And in the first 10 seconds, it might be a feature film.
And I do want to point out as well, 2 of the 3 Alabama losses all time on a Nightlight Showmatch have been in Game 7. Against UAH, against Arkansas. Both heartbreaking series for them, as UAH reverse swept them, and Arkansas never should have beat them in the first place. That was an own goal in Game 7 overtime to lose it for them. So they've got some work to do here in the final game of our first series of Tuesday Night Lights. And let's just see what Tuesday Night Lights has in store for us, shall we?
Chan playing mind games like he loves to do, and especially in Game 7, tries it awkward. Can he get back to it? No, but he doesn't need to. Agonize pushes it a little too far, and what I thought for sure was going to be the first goal explosion of the game. Now Trizen's got boost, has time to work with. Chan is there for the potential takeaway. We'll keep it middle. Gray is there up next, off the sidewall, trying to keep some possession here. Here comes Bama, looking middle. Agonize, this time positioned correctly. Will make a good touch, and Chan, pass 2, leaves Jeezy all by himself. Net is open. Trizen shot is weak.
Okay, and Agonize will clear to an open net. How is that open? Alabama in transition defense falter again.
Oh man, last game was heartbreaking enough with just 10 to go and a goal gets given up, 2 to go and a goal was given up. But here, that one hurts, and now the Alabama mental boom is on the line.
Okay, 90 seconds in, UTK start us off, but Trizen has a chance to counter. Solo play with Chan involved at the tail end, and neither player makes contact in the UTK box. Jeezy will look to clear, nab some boost, and just slow things down.
Kong, awkward, Agonize, awkward as well! Trizen stepping back up to the plate and tying it up.
Had to expect, though, slowing things down wasn't going to take effect for very long. Agonize was in position there, but is just late to the shot on his goal line, and just like that, we're tied up again.
Agonize looking to keep this ball even, but Alabama's done a good job of controlling the pace from the kickoff all the way till the first goal, regardless of who scores. And now we'll see if Jeezy can take some UTK possession and work it in their favor. That right there is a great passing play from Bama, though. Trizen will find a bump, so Gray gets a free touch. Can he find another, though? Yes, he will. Here comes Chan. No 50, though. A great touch from Jeezy, and not a lot of boost for Trizen as he picks up the corner. He will be all right. He's got to watch out, though, because he's putting it middle dangerously in Game 7, halfway through this one, and I still couldn't tell you which way it's going to go.
I've got no idea. These are 2 teams that always deliver on the entertainment front, not always the ease of predictability front. And with half a Game 7 gone, we're still level. Gray's given that up. Jeezy, just a simple 50-51, but UTK will take that. It'll take some space in the Alabama end that Trizen and Chan will try to claim back, but aren't successful in. Kung back to that same corner, and Gray will eventually, finally, clear Bama's zone.
You know, it might just be a chance middle, though. Trizen was there, but now he's caught awkward. He's actually backwards, has a second touch, staying on that ball somehow. Now Chan is awkward, finds a 50 under 1. Agonize, though, through the smoke. A pre-jumped Gray meets him at the rim, and will find a dunk. 2 to go.
Oh, Jeezy just missed. No! Jeezy in the corner was the only player on UTK's defensive side that could make a play on the ball, and he couldn't come up with a touch. That is heartbreaking.
I mean, 2 minutes to go here, but wow, I'm completely taken aback by that. And another big mental challenge comes across UTK's desk, and Gray will try and make sure they fail at it. Kung now off the sidewall, trying to go against those wishes, looking towards net. Double commit comes from Bama. Jeezy looking to make up for the mistake. He has to lead the play, though. Not a lot of boost. Doesn't bump, tries it. Agonize is gone! 3-1.
Tryzen knew exactly where he was headed as soon as he got a little bit of room there at the midfield line. And though he was bumped off the play by Jeezy, he got enough contact to make that an effective bump. And Kong, all he can do as he rotates through the corner is watch as his teammates were beaten and bumped and battered. And off kickoff, UTK's conceded again. 4-1 Bama.
Oh no! Oh no! I don't even know what words to say. This is critical. It's crucial. It's heartbreaking for UTK. Now, granted, 90 seconds left. Crazier things have happened, but you need something quick for momentum.
I mean, 90 seconds left. You need something quick, period. I mean, UTK are reeling at the moment, and it's just that one corner miss. That is all that have sent UTK from a tied game state now down to a 3-goal deficit in the waning moments of their really first series of the season. And that's a gorgeous pass. Chan sets up Gray at the end of the play, but what an initial dime out of Tryzen.
I mean, this is the Bama that we know and love. Yep. Chan right there perfectly in the midfield. All three members of Bama up, but they never do it dangerously. Only when it's essential. And how about essential to the beating they're laying on here?
4 goals to the better for Alabama, and time on their side as well. Tryzen is going to look for a 6th. He's been lights out here and goes too high on the solo play, but eventually gets a second try. And Alabama at this point are just looking for icing on the cake, because it looks very likely that they will win a Game 7 on Tuesday Night Lights. And hey, that is a couple demons off their shoulders.
I mean, 40 seconds left. I'm still with the hopium. I'm willing to see something here. Maybe if Gray messes this up, maybe Agonize gets a chance. No, Gray will dominate. It might just be a 6 right here, as this one might be an open net. Gray will put it to rest. The funeral, the coffin, the proceeds have been done.
Well, if there was ever a Game 7 that didn't accurately reflect the rest of the 6 games in this series, I think this is it. Although the first half, I think, was right up there with the rest of this set, the second half has gone fully Alabama's way, and it shows you the margins that you gotta play with in Rocket League. One corner read miss is what sent UTK down this spiral.
I mean, we've talked about it in this series. We're aware of UTK White, specifically this roster without Shaka, and we didn't mention specifically about that roster. The new member here taking Shaka's place is Jeezy. So, I hate to say it, I think he's got a lot to learn, and he has made some great progressions overall this season, and that shot, unfortunately, no kind of morale-boosting opportunity there. But overall, it's not just Jeezy, even though his miss did kind of maybe start the snowball effect. But UTK White, a solid performance, a lot to learn. But Bama, they're basically veterans of the Southeast.
They very much are. I mean, these guys, they've got to... I don't think they're all seniors. I think Tryzen might be a junior, but a lot of experience. I mean, Tryzen was a star as soon as he joined this team as a freshman, and they've kept that momentum up. And I'm going to see if I can't locate one of the Bama players to see if they want to hop in the booth with us for an interview to break down all that chaos we were just privy to, TJ.
I don't even know who I'd want to talk in that series, because it seemed like that everybody had their moments. I mean, Gray early on in this series was showing off and making sure that Bama was going to stay on top and maybe looking to end this series earlier than expected. But then we saw Tryzen have his moments in the midfield. And not to say anything against Chan, but Chan was more of the aggressor and the chaos creator on this roster. And he did his role well too, especially clutching up in Game 7, a few passing plays here and there. Bama just simply filled their roles when the other ones were down.
And it's a hallmark of good teams when they're able to step up in certain positions when the other team's lacks, or just when a series is weird. Find ways to score goals, find ways to come out on top, because, I mean, overtimes, 1-goal games, that's what we saw the majority of that series. And Alabama, I mean, though they were forced into an awkward set due to rust, due to, at times, a weird play style from UTK, they still found a way to get the job done. And look, this is a big semester for them. They're one of those SEL teams on the outside looking in for the land. They've never been to an SEL land. So, got to step up from the get-go this spring, and hey, that's a victory for you.
Yeah, I've got to hop back on the other side, though. There is still plenty
Oh yeah.
to learn for UTK, but it's not a bad thing. It's most definitely not a bad thing. This roster has come a very long way from after the Shaka departure, even with the original Shaka edition where it was Agonize and Kung. They have come a long way. They are not the same players that they were. I think it's mainly a mental thing, especially there in game 6 and 7. But regardless, there's only so much to hate on or kind of disprove with this UTK roster. There's way more positives.
Hey, much love to you as well, Trizon. That was an absolute show that you guys just put on. And I'm not sure the interview is going to happen because we're so close to the top of the hour, actually a minute past it. We do need to get into JMU and UNCC here in a sec, but look, TJ, if that's the first series of Tuesday Night Lights #1, the rest of the slate, hopefully you would think, is going to deliver on the entertainment front, right?
Hey, I hope so. I was telling you, I hope that all of them go to at least 6. So for your sake, I pray for you. But it's a pleasure to be on as always, and also to have a little SEL matchup. Obviously, I get you back on the desk with me consistently.
Yes, sir.
I cannot wait for the action this year.
I don't know what that clip is in chat, so we're going to have to watch that a little bit later. But, all right. Chan didn't get back to me in time, so no interview, but don't any of you worry. We will at some point get the Bama guys on stream to chat. Those are some personalities. Same with UTK. But TJ, dude, thanks for joining me for that first set. I know that's your only one of the night. I know you've already laid down your predictions, but any final words before you head on out?
I mean, no bias, just go JMU, I guess. I really think they got it. I think they got both their show matches tonight. But we'll see. Again, would love to be proven wrong.
All right, short break, ladies and gentlemen, but stick around because Tuesday Night Lights will be back in just a couple minutes. We're already behind schedule. I'll try to get back as soon as I can, so see you there.